Would you like to hear a story? Well, like any story, I suppose we should start at the beginning. The Astral Sea. Since the dawn of life, gods, deities, and even unfathomable nightmares spawn from its stardust. It is ever marching, an endless flow of cosmic energy and dust weaving all throughout the realms. She was born when the stars were still new among the Milky Way, fresh and in an uncertain form. Consciousness had not yet gathered as she drifted and merged with the astral tides. There was always an innate purpose, a calling creations from the astral sea possessed, but her beating desire remained empty. She was listless in an endless void. Until her consciousness centered on the most beautiful ball of blue, and a desire formed in her core.
Hello.
Tell me a story, child.
A story? What kind of story?
Anything at all, dear. Oracle, orator, soothsayer, enlightened one, lore keeper, storyteller. Endless names given to her as she travels through the lands, learning, growing, and sharing. She weaves fantastical stories for all who hears, or recounts events lost to the unyielding march of time, as well as listens and absorbs all she can, reveling in the shared experience of story. She understood she was not here to interfere. She was simply made to take account of the mortal experience and witness its expansion. She was content with this. She was happy with this. Soon, her cosmic abilities manifested further. Her vision expanded beyond the present, and her sight ventured forth into visions of the future. She didn't understand then how much of a curse this would become. They spawned at random intervals and through touch from those she interacted with. Soon, the need to know your destiny from the mysterious wandering oracle became widespread. The mortals were desperate to know what fate had for them. She understood sorrow. Sorrow is part of a story. Pain is part of a fulfilling tale. But these were not something she felt herself, or better to say, not something she could experience. But in the visions, in each and every one, she lived through the eyes of who she touched. She lived through their death, their decay, their loss. She felt every horror of the human experience, and it was then she learned to mourn. She felt the need to protect people from their pain, their agony. She broke the cardinal rule of a timeless watcher and continued her travels now in a desperate urge to help the people escape their fate. But fate was not kind. She watched, despite her warnings and pleas, she watched as time marched on and took bodies with it. Agony was unyielding. Please, you can't! The king is sending you all to your death! I've seen it. I've seen what fate has spun, and you are all lost on both sides. That is nothing but ruin.
I would rather die with my brethren than live haunted by the guilt of abandoning them for my own preservation. Hey, come on now. Fate isn't always absolute. I'll change those stars and return to you.
Finally, she shattered.
Good morning.
There we are. I sure was muted. Well, that's my story. But that's why tomorrow I consider it my birthday, because I can't tell you the actual date that I was formed. A long time ago, but time and relevancy loses all meaning up in the vastness of space. So, the actual date that I arrived on Earth was around February 2nd, sometime in the 1500s, way up in the north. That's me. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Forgive me if my retelling of this story was a little bit hazy. The artwork that I did was all pieces of my memory that I tried to recollect for you. But as you can see, it's all still a little vague in my mind. I hope you appreciated it nonetheless. It was a very important part of me, and a lot of pieces with me were lost. It was a very long time ago. But in my slumber, and as I lost my mortal form and slowly trying to regain it back, I was found by the lovely Amoris, and he has been somebody who had helped me regain myself. I was nothing but a shell of the being that I was when I woke up again after all that time. I hope sometime in the future I can share with you more of my memories once they slowly start to return to me. Maybe you'll see more of that in the future. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate that. This was a lot of work. And my delightful Ami helping me through it. This was a hard retelling of my history. I've since been able to ground myself again, I guess. And in my attempt to remember the past, there has also been healing in this. I've learned many things as I've grown, and as I slowly try to regain a mortal form. I hope one day we can see a beautiful new future together. And I hope still that burning desire in my core always remains. And I will always be here to tell you a story. So long as you choose to listen. Thank you everybody so much for joining me, though it's been a little bit of a mess. And also my sincerest thank you to, thank you so much. My sincerest thank you to everybody who helped me piece together my memories to be able to show this to you all. Everybody who worked on the video, and God bless the hours I spent, the literal almost a full year of working on the artwork of my memories. So I'm happy that I can finally share it all to you. Now the actual video should be out that you can view whenever you'd like. And I'd say for now then, thank you. I did. It was a lot of work. I appreciate you all so much for joining me today. We'll have a moment in the future where I talk a little more about what went into this. Thank you. Thank you. And so sorry about earlier. Jesus. Can't go a single day without something happening. But thank you.
But for the future, for the coming days tomorrow, you'll see me once again celebrating my birthday with a lot of other close friends. And I hope for many, many more days to come, we continue to share a lot of beautiful memories and beautiful stories. Thank you so much for, thank you so much for sitting with me for this one particular special story. And that is all for me. I really so truly sincerely appreciate everybody coming out to see this. Oh, it was a lot of work. It was so much work. But I will see everybody tomorrow then, okay? Thank you again so much. This was a very important part of me that took a lot to share. All right. Otsu otsu. Good morning, good evening, good night to everybody. And thank you for always listening to my stories. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye-bye.